welcome back. Let's play Final Fantasy VI. Last time we went over the opera sequence, which contains a lot of fantastic music. This time I have reverted back to my save file when we just finished up in Zozo and created our party, aiming to go toward the Empire. And speaking of music, did I ever get a chance to say how much of, just how catchy this song is? Before recording, I'm just sitting there going, ding, 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 and just completely jamming out to this song. And I am still a child. Regardless, let's move on with things. All right, now I went over the basics of how Magicite works. Now, I'm going to go over one additional thing before we move on, and I'm going to, as I said at the end of the last episode, we're going to go back and we're going to show kind of a different take on how to do things. Now, when I talked about espers before, I talked about, the learning rates and how the stat growth works. Basically, the way I'm going to treat this for the rest of the game is I'm only going to teach magic to certain characters. Now, you can teach magic to everyone if you want. It's entirely up to you. There is a certain point later in the game where your characters will be sort of berserked, and they will take actions on their own. And the AI is, let's just say, dumb as fuck, and will do really stupid things with their turns when you really want them to just do the one thing that they're good at. So in order to reduce the amount of dumb things they can do, I'm not going to teach magic to most of the characters that already have good innate abilities. In the case of Locke, he doesn't really have any good innate abilities damage-wise, but I also don't want to give him spells because if I want to use him in the said situation, it's going to be for his physical attack anyway. Gaw, you can teach magic to. I haven't decided whether I'm going to or not. It doesn't matter one way or the other. You'll also notice how all of our characters now have MP because they all have access to magic. It's not just someone like Celeste the way it was before. Celeste, her claim to fame is she's good with magic, so I'm going to teach her magic. Sabin, I am not going to teach magic. Same with Edgar, and same with Cyan. They are much better using their own innate character abilities than they are using magic spells. Now, if you decide to use, espers that increase magic power to grow everyone's magic power, everyone will be good with magic, and that's fine. I just think it's more interesting this way, and it's easier to use them in these rare, but definitely, in my opinion, required situations where you don't have full control over them. So, with that being said, I'm not going to be teaching spells to a whole bunch of people, but this stray Esper here has magic growth. Now, I want magic growth on any character that I plan on using magic. Oops. And in that case, we are going to use it for Gaw, Celeste, Sabin, and yeah, that's it for the characters we have right now. We also have Edgar, who I'm going to, until I get something that increases Vigor, I will give him the magic boost. When he's about to level up, I'm just going to basically switch characters onto this, and then after they've leveled up and gained their ability, I'll just take it off them. So they'll learn some spells through this process, but I'm not going to actively try to because it's not worth it. But anyway, in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to actively try and learn spells for characters like Celeste. So I am going to work on, what do I want to work on with you? Sure, you can work on Ramu, whatever. And I'm going to have to go in here and micromanage and check my experience levels all the time. It's not the best strategy. It gets you the best results, but it's not the most fun to be constantly checking your experience and making sure to switch things up. It's a lot better on an emulator with the rewind feature in case you screw up, which I've done plenty. And then you can just rewind the last battle, switch out the Esper, and it's a lot easier. Now, I'm not going to show you this one. I'm trying to remember the combination here. And where's my martial rage? And like that. And they're gone. I'm not going to show you my whole trip back, but primarily what we're going to do with this part of the this part of the game is I'm going to show you, if you so desire to do so, how to get back to the Veldt to get more rages for Gob. You in no way have to do this, and it's definitely it's not required, and it's not necessary either, but this is going to be an opportunity to get some rages that could be useful upcoming. So basically, I'm going to tell you a lot of this process and then skip a lot of the details because it's going to take a long time if I do the entire trip on screen. I will also apologize in advance if you hear a lot of noises. You need to go this way. Yes, I think I'm going the right way now. If you hear rage quitting in the background, my nephews are here. They're both playing Roblox out there. I don't know anything about Roblox. I'm 33. I'm an old man. But yeah, every time they play, all I hear is hackers, and I'm like, no, you're just not very good. That's kind of how it works. But we all blame hackers every time we lose at something, sometime or another. Anyway, as you might guess, if we're going to head back to the Veldt there, words escape me, you can take this guy and go back to the Figaro area. Then take the South Cave to get over to the South Figaro area. And once we're through here, I'm going to head over to the next dungeon that we were in as we progressed through the game the first time around. And I'll go through there and I'll meet you on the other side. I do note that I am fighting the enemies along the way, and even though they don't give a lot of experience, what they do give me is they give me a little bit of magic points, quite high with that one, and I can learn a few spells along the way. Just make sure every few battles to go in and check your levels, and when you're getting, within a couple hundred, 200-300 experience, maybe start switching in, was it Stray? No. Stray. To whoever's about to gain a level to give them a little bit of magic boost. If it's going to be someone who's not going to use spells, like Locke, I would probably give him the HP one or the stamina one. Either or, neither really makes a huge bit of difference in the long term. Also, you'll notice my party's a little different. I got Edgar instead of Sabin. Whenever you want, head back to Narsh, talk to your party members in the first house that we started the game out in, and you can grab new party members there. Locke and Celes are still required at this point, though. And once you make it out of the mountain there, Mount Colt, I can remember names. I was just there. I should probably know what it is. You make your straightforward trip up to the Returner's hideout. And, well, the process there is pretty much the same as it was before. You run to the end, and you jump back into the Leet River. And this time, you still have to make the same choices in terms of which way to turn. I will pull up that because I don't remember myself. And then basically all it is it directly deposits you at the start of Sabin's path. And from there, all there is... yeah, that's all he asks now is if Bannon's okay. So yeah, you just go down here, you jump in the Leet River, have to do the whole procedure again, sadly. And yeah, so let's see, my directions are... oh god. First fork, you go left. No, wait, sorry. Yeah, so go either left or right at the first fork. At the second fork, you want to go left again. So yeah, just go left and then go left. And then we'll see you at the start of Sabin's path, which I believe basically puts you... yeah, it puts you at the house. And you don't have to go through the forest again, the Phantom Forest. It's basically just walk straight through, walk all the way to the falls, and jump off the falls again, just like you did before, and you'll end up on the Veldt. So I'm going to do the rest of this off screen since there's not really anything else to really show. You just walk through the forest on the world map. Nothing changed from the first time around. And then we're going to try and find a few new rages on the Veldt. The specific ones that I'm going for is, if you missed any the first time around, go for those. And if you didn't, the new ones that we're interested in getting are Anguiform from our trip through the Serpent Trench, Aspic, also from our trip through the Serpent Trench, and Hades Gigas and Slam Dancer from Zozo. Those are the only ones we really need. I'll go over them if/when I get them. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. I will show you the process of getting back somewhat. You do have to go through the Serpent Trench again, and it's the exact same process as it was with Savin, so I'll maybe do a little bit of it on screen, maybe not. Anyway, I'll see you in probably like half an hour. If you're wondering what's going on at Doma Castle along the way, the Empire has sealed it off and we can't get in, nor can we fight them. Okay, my mistake. We do have to go through the Phantom Forest again. Not that that means all that much, but you don't have to worry about going through... I didn't mean to do that twice. You don't have to go through the Phantom Train. And when you come back to Barren Falls, it's pretty straightforward. There's no piranha to fight or anything like that. You literally just drop in, and we're on the Veldt. As I mentioned before, you don't gain experience on the Veldt. What you do gain is AP, or magic points. I'm going to keep calling them AP or magic points interchangeably, because it is AP, and, well, we have MP, which stands for magic points anyway, so it just ends up getting confusing. But, yeah, the idea here, we don't gain experience, but we do want to keep gaining the magic points to learn all these spells. So Celeste is going to keep working on that. In the meantime, I'm going to try and find some of these guys, and when I find a bunch of them, I will show them to you. Okay. I have come to a realization. There are 8 enemies in each pack. There are 64 packs. There is a 99% chance that the enemy you'll run into in a given pack is not the one you're trying to learn something for Ga from. The reason why I know this is now a fact is because I've been playing this game for 2 hours and 44 minutes, and I still don't have the one specific rage that I really wanted to get to show something off. Normally I wouldn't spend anywhere near that amount of time, but the game just really, really hates me. Anyway, I'm done trying to make this work. We found 2 of the 4 that I was trying to get. Slam Dancer. Let's make a save state. Slam Dancer. If Ga will do his job. I don't know why. Like, this is the biggest problem with this video game, is it's the RNG. And I said it in the very first episode. The RNG factor for this game is brutal. Ice 2, single or all targeting, it can hit either. You're also, or at least I, learned to absolutely hate this battle formation because it's supposed to skip forward 13 or 14 different packs when you reset. But for some reason, I got this probably about 50% of the time I reset. And it got to the point where I was trying to figure out whether it was random or not. And I think what it does is it counts all the packs that you haven't found the enemies in those packs, instead of skipping all of the packs you don't have any enemies learned from, which would make sense. So you can manipulate this. Shouldn't have to manipulate this at all. I hate when games do this. Why is RNG the bane of my existence in RPGs? What else did I get? I am really not particularly happy at the moment. I haven't had to deal with something this frustrating in a while, basically just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's entirely not required at all. Are you gonna do the thing, Ga? No? Oh, look at that. Aqua Rake. This is all targeting. It's water elemental. I believe this one suffers from split damage, so it'll do more to a single target than it will to a group, which kind of makes it useless. Yeah, anyway. Put Ga in his place. Take you. heal everybody since I haven't done that since. And whenever you're done playing around, all you have to do is come back here. You don't have to do anything. Please go up the thing. All you have to do is head right on in here and jump back in here and do this all again. And then from here, you'll end up at Nikea. And then you take the boat to South Figaro, you get smuggled out again, and then you can head back to Figaro Castle and take it back over. See, it's not this guy that I want. There is another guy, which is the small fish, and it's called an aspic. And its claim to fame is that it's got Gigavolt, which is the strongest single targeting magical attack we have access to at this point in the game. It's also lightning elemental, which means it's kind of valuable upcoming. And the game just will not give me the encounter with it. See, I have the battle formation. It's that little tiny thing up there. This guy. All I wanted to do was run into him. That's all I wanted. Anyway, I'm going to stop ranting and raving because you guys probably don't want to hear me just get mad at the game for being really frustrating. As I said before with GAW, you don't have to do all this stuff at all. You can skip 99% of it. It'd be nice to get Marshall, and then you have something he can do for most of the game. There's a few other things you can get later on. This is completely optional and not required at all. So anyway, I will see you back at the Opera House where we're going to go through things. Well, I don't know, die. I'm just annoyed now. I'm going to go back to do that, and then I think I'm just going to cut this episode short. I was planning on doing all the opera stuff there, but I'm kind of worn out and too angry to properly do things. I get really frustrated at video games when I repeatedly do the same thing over and over and over again. Like grinding, farming, this, anything where I have to just keep repeating myself over and over and over again and not getting lucky enough with RNG to be able to get through things. Yeah, you can't go in here unless you hit the switch. But for some reason, it seems to be a trend in a lot of RPGs, which are my favorite genre, and I just can't seem to get away from it. So yeah, that's pretty much all for this really annoying episode that is relatively short for you guys. But next time we will redo the opera sequence, and, well, can I get up? Then we will finally be able to go over to the Vector continent and finally try and, what are we doing? I don't even know what we're doing. My brain is not functioning. Anyway, see you guys next time.